Hey y'all, it's your girl Symone and welcome back to my channel. If y'all can see by the title, today's video is Subbie Sunday. And yes, I'm right here recording it at midnight on a Saturday. But yeah, let's go ahead. Before we get into this video, y'all already know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all, come on, help y'all. Help your girl out. We almost to 100K and it seems like it's moving so slow. Yeah, so it's moving so slow. So y'all, tell your friends. But anyway, make sure you subscribe to my channel, give her a thumbs up, comment down below. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias that will be listed down in the description box below. Instagram at LifeWithSymone, TikTok and Twitter at Instagram at Vivalayoshii, TikTok and Twitter at LifeWithSymone. So yes, y'all, I wasn't even gonna record. I was laying here. It's literally 12:23 and I was laying here, but I'm like, Symone, you going to a family reunion tomorrow. You're not gonna be home at a reasonable time on Saturday. Record this video so we can have it up by Sunday. So yeah, let me move my phone because it's just going up with messages. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So right when I was gonna go scroll down, because remember I said I'm gonna just go like, you know, random and stuff now, but right when I was gonna scroll, I was right here seeing a title, and I said I have to tell this story. They just sent this to on August 16th, and the title of this story, y'all, we fucked at a retirement home after we met at Wendy's. Y'all, hold on. So let's get into this video. So let me put my feet up. It says, hey Symone, just wanted to say that I love your videos. I look forward to them every week, getting ready and doing my makeup while listening to your story times. It's just a part of my routine at this point. Thank you, sis. I'm happy that I'm a part of your routine. So let's get to this video. Alright, first things first, this took place when I worked at Wendy's. Guys would ask me for my number in the drive-thru and I would always decline, except for this one time. To backtrack a little, my coworker had been verbally harassing me for some time then. I had tons of stories involving him, but that's for another time, LOL. Anyways, I was working in the back in what they call the hole, where I was collecting money from the first window and doing dishes while it was slow time. My coworker was saying some weird shit and walked away once a customer pulled to the window. I walked up to the window and realized that I didn't even need to collect his change since he had a DoorDash order and DoorDashers get their food at the second window, which I was at the first window. So I just stood there waiting for the next car to pull up until he rolled down his tinted windows. I could tell that he was trying to talk to me. We would call this guy Fleet. You'll soon see why. DoorDashers annoy me at that job, honestly, and sometimes they don't realize that they need to go to the second window. So I opened the window and said, "You're a DoorDash order." He said, "Yeah," and I cut him off and said, "Second window," and slammed those windows shut. I know that sounds rude, but I was really fed up at this moment, especially since my coworker wouldn't leave me alone. He then started telling me how beautiful I was and this and that or whatever, and asked me for my Snapchat. Like I said in the beginning, I've always said no, but I guess he just caught me in the right moment because I said yes. After my shift, we began texting for a couple of days. One day after I got off work, I asked if he wanted to hang real quick. He told me to meet him at this farm in Fleet by my work. I drove there and it was sketchy as fuck. Since it sounds sketchy meeting at a farm, but I don't know where you live, so. The parking lot was dark and completely empty. I drove in there, parked for about 30 seconds and drove off. I got a really weird vibe. I then told him I left and that I'm not about to be in that sketchy ass parking lot with him. I was almost home and I was still texting him. And then he reassured me that it wasn't like that. And I ended up driving all the way back there since I've been there. As I was pulling up, I see a car with tinted ass windows. I was honestly dumb as fuck for going back because I could have got kidnapped. I had never met this man before. I then saw some big ass sketchy men outside by the building. Was like, oh my fucking god, they're gonna come snatch me. When I walk out of my car, oh my god, they're gonna come snatch me when I walk out of my car. I started texting him even though my car was parked right next to his. I asked if he knew them and he said no. My dumbass was just like, okay, and proceeded to get in his car. Honestly, it was a whole ass vibe and he ended up being really cool. At this time, I had just gotten into a talking stage. He's not very relevant in this story, but we'll call him Blue for now. With someone and didn't want to do anything with Fleet. About an hour, I was leaving and he asked me for a hug before I left. I said yes, and afterwards proceeded to open the car door to leave. He then pulled my arm and asked for another hug. I was like, I guess, and gave him another one. He then held me close and asked if he could kiss me. I said no since I was interested in Blue and didn't want to do anything with another guy, even though me and Blue weren't together. I didn't say all of that though. All I said was no. Then he said, what if I did it anyways? And before I knew it, he was kissing me. I pulled away and got out of his car. I honestly felt really bad for kissing him and told Blue. Blue was a little hurt, but then again, we weren't official then. Me and Blue ended up dating for a while and I cut him off and ghosted Fleet. After me and Blue broke up, I ended up hitting a Fleet. We began texting for a few days and were catching up with each other and stuff. He then asked if I wanted to come over. I was asking if he had his own place and stuff, and he said yes. He then sent me the address, and when I got there, Google Maps was playing with me, and I accidentally turned into the police station, which was right next to the apartments. This is so important because I think this moment was foreshadowing what ended up happening later that night. So I pulled up and parked until I realized something strange. Until I realized something strange about these apartments. They weren't apartments, Simone. This man had me pull up to a retirement home. I was thinking like, what the fuck? So he went out and got me and brought me in through the back door. Once we go inside, I asked him why he's staying at a retirement home. He told me that he moved in here to be his grandma's full-time caretaker, but that she is currently in the hospital. I understood that and then felt bad for judging, but I mean, come on, who wouldn't be freaked out at first? Anyways, we ended up chilling, and he is such a sweet guy. He made me food and watched movies, and yes, we ended up doing the deed. LOL. A few times, actually. The retirement home dick hit good. Y'all, not the retirement home dick. One of the movies we watched was about a cop, which I also think was foreshadowing this next event. Hours and hours go by, and I ended up going home around 2 a.m. I was on this long dark road, and there was no one on it except for me and this other car. This car was pretty far behind me. One thing about me is that at night I always go the exact speed limit. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm not getting caught lacking out here. You never know what these cops are hiding. That's true. Anyways, this car ended up getting super close behind me as the speed limit started going down and down. In my head, I'm like, nuh-uh, this motherfucker could go around me. I'm not speeding enough for anybody on this road. It's not big enough for the two of us. All of a sudden, blue and red lights started beaming through my window. I had never gotten pulled over before, so I didn't even process that I was being pulled over. I was just like, oh shit, someone's getting pulled over. And it didn't even click in my dumbass head that it was I that was getting pulled over. Once I realized, I was like, oh fuck, and pulled over ASAP. He then walked up to my car asking how I was or whatever. I was just like, I'm pretty good, how are you? And he was like, yeah, I'm good. Are you aware that your lights above your license plate is out? To be honest, at this time, I didn't even know that cars had lights above the license plates. No, it took me a minute to realize that too, sis. When a cop told me, and I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. All of a sudden, another cop car pulled up and another cop came out. At this point, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to jail, laughing my ass off. Then the cop asked for my insurance info and registration and stuff like that. I proceeded to tell him all of that info was in my glove box and I haven't been able to open it for months. It was true too. It still won't open, and I have no idea why. I even went to get it fixed and they couldn't open it without damaging my interior. Anyway, the cop was like, you know what, it's okay, can I see your license? And I said yes and handed it to him. He came back in about 5 minutes later and was like, are you aware that you have a probationary license? And I said yes, and he told me that I couldn't be out this late, and I said I know. He asked me if I had anyone to come pick me up, and I said no. He then asked what I was even doing out this late. I was so quick with it, and I told him that I was coming back from the retirement home up the street. Funny thing was, that was the truth. He asked what I was doing there, and I said I was visiting my grandma. He then asked, why was I going to visit my grandma at 2 a.m.? I told him that I fell asleep and went home when I woke up because I had work in the morning. It actually looked like I had been sleeping too, because I was getting the shit fucked out of me, laughing my ass off. He told me to have a good night and I left. This story doesn't really have a point to it, but I just wanted to share it and I hope you enjoy reading it. I have plenty of other stories to tell. If you're interested, let me know, sis. Love you. No, sis, this story did have, like, it was good. I see where you was going with the whole police thing, because they probably did see you pull up in there and probably thought it was weird. So they probably was watching you, especially, like, it sounded like you live in, like, a small town or somewhere, like, down south and stuff like that. So they probably was. I don't know how the police is down south. Let me stop talking like I done live down south. I was going to say, so they probably had nothing else to do and probably was watching. But no, sis, it's crazy because not him having you pull up to the retirement home. I'm wondering if his grandma really did live there, or was it like some type of profile thing and somebody probably got a hookup on apartments and then it just so happened to be a retirement home and it was like, damn. So that's probably why you got to sneak through the back door and shit. And then was it old people apartments or a retirement home? I never been inside a retirement home. Well, I have when I was a kid. They got their own kitchen, or did he go cook in the staff kitchen? I don't know. But thank you so much for sharing, sis. Okay, so let's get into this next one. It says, my homegirl boo became my man. Shady, sis. Shady. Ooh, let's see what sis got to say, though. So it says, disclaimer. Okay, I know this title sounds horrible. Go ahead and judge me. I was young as hell, just doing whatever. But I mean, you live and you learn, right? Sorry if this story is long. I try hard to add as much detail, but also try my hardest not to be too specific just to keep them anonymous. Okay, let's go. Anyways, let me start off by introducing myself. Okay, she said I could say it. Let me start off by introducing myself. My name is Shayla, and yes, I do not care. You can say my name. Hey, Shayla. Back in June of 2019, I was 16 at the time, and my homegirl, we're going to call her Anna, she was 19. The guy, we're going to call him Jay, he was 21. First of all, why the fuck was Anna hanging out with a 16-year-old? But anyway, let's finish. So yeah, my mom sent me to this job center program. I hated it. Side note, the age ranged from 16 to 24. Okay, makes sense to why y'all know each other. But one day I was in the main office of the program and I seen a face that was familiar, and it was Anna. She was registering herself to go to the program. I wasn't really too pleased just because I know her through my, too pleased just because I know her through my older brother, and he didn't fuck with her at all because of some high school drama. So I didn't speak to her when I seen her, but she spoke to me and I wasn't gonna be rude, so I spoke back and we kept it short. Sooner or later, she started going to the job center, and as time went on, we eventually became cool. And she would always want to hang out and talk. So I was there for her because I knew she was new and barely knew people. A few weeks later, Anna made more friends, but she got caught up with some dude she was supposedly dating. He cheated and he had the clap and gave it to her. Wow. She was arguing with him about the situation one day and made a scene, and me and Jay, which he was a random dude at this time, tried calming that shit down because we didn't want security involved. Days after the big ass blow up, all three of us started hanging out, chilling, talking to get her mind off of the situation, and just being there as moral support. Anna started telling me how she wanted to put me on with Jay's friend. It was funny at first, but she would make us all sit at the table and talk to each other. And Jay took my phone and put his partner number in it. And Anna and Jay would force double dates weeks later. It was weird, to be honest. I kind of stopped coming around as much, but whenever I talked to Anna, she would always tell me about Jay. Me personally, I didn't understand. He wasn't even all that. But time went on. Anna ended up getting kicked out because she failed a drug test, and we lost contact. A few weeks go by and people are telling me that Jay's trying to fuck with me. And it was funny at first because when I first met him, he was so mean to me and he was always messing with me. And even when he was trying to play Mr. Matchmaker with his friend, I never got the flirty I want you type vibes from him. But I had to confront him to make sure people wasn't just spreading childish rumors. We had a long talk about everything, and that conversation helped me understand him a little more. And I even asked him about Anna. He told me they don't talk at all since she left, and I asked him were they dating. He said no, she just gave him head after she was cured from the clap. And from that point, we became cool. We were always together, and I knew I shouldn't have entertained him at all, but Jay was really a sweet dude when he wasn't joking and doing too much. And he was so laid back, and when we could just talk for hours, and I liked that. Jay and I discussed if we were dating anybody, and I told him I had a boyfriend at the time, and he told me he had a girlfriend. Days went on and eventually get closer and then even kissed. That kiss opened us up to each other in a deeper way. And I ended up giving Jay the okay to take my V card 3 days later after the kiss. And from there, that was our secret. But we acted like we were strictly friends around other people. Sooner or later, I got attached and broke up with my boyfriend that I had before I met Jay. Everyone could tell I was really starting to like Jay because I was always telling my friends about him. And he was claiming me to all of his friends, and we were pretty much dating. And a few months go by and I ended up getting kicked out, and I was so sad because I knew I was never going to see Jay. I knew I was never going to see him again. I cried for like 2 days. In October, I get a Snap notification from Anna. Mind you, it was kind of weird because I forgot all about this girl. And so I opened it, and she was inviting me to her party in December. And I was debating if I wanted to go because I really needed to tell her what happened between me and Jay because I didn't want to seem like a fake ass bitch. I knew I couldn't tell her over the message, so I was waiting for another time in person. But her birthday came around so quick, and at this time, her and my brother squashed their problems. I let my brother know everything about me and Jay and how I know him and shit because I wanted his advice on how I should tell her that me and Jay fucked with each other. My brother went to the party with me and told me don't tell her at the party. I could tell her later. Yes, sis, because you gonna just ruin no girl birthday like that? Let's see. I ended up forgetting and was never able to tell her myself. Eventually, I got kicked out of my job program because I was always late, and some days I didn't even show up. I started a new life. I was back at home, I was happy, and I forgot about everyone, but me and Jay still kept in contact. Until one day I get a snap notification from Anna, and she was texting me saying how she heard I lost my V card to Jay, and I really didn't know what to say. I was just like, yeah, and she video chats me through Snap, and we talked about it, and I didn't really know what to say, but I felt bad, of course, for crossing someone that I was cool with. But after that conversation, I called Jay, cussed his ass out, and pretty much broke everything off with him, because I knew he told her, and I didn't talk to him anymore after that, because I told him I wanted to be the one to tell her. And yeah, I was really mad, but mostly I was really mad at myself because I knew way better, and I felt so fucked up. Me and Anna have talked since the situation, but we are not friends. I seen her at one of my jobs, and she acted like we were besties, so she took my number down saying we needed to catch up. It was weird because if roles would switch, I would be ready to do damage. But none of us talk to each other nowadays. Jay still watches me on Instagram, and Anna don't speak to me because I changed my numbers and I moved out of the town. And I believed I still got her blocked on my Instagram and Snap from when we last talked about after she found out about me and Jay. Thank you so much for reading my story, Symone. I love your whole personality so much. Your story times be having me rolling, and I swear we're like besties. But anyway, keep grinding, girl. You are one of the best channels on YouTube. Thank you so much, sis. I love you too. Mwah, mwah, mwah. But no, what I was gonna say is, I feel like you know what? It's crazy. Y'all is gonna think I'm crazy, but the person that's the most fucked up in this situation is Jay. Because Jay, why are you 21 years old trying to talk to a 16-year-old and take her virginity? And I know y'all probably like, that's not a big age gap. Okay, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 5 years apart. That's not a big age gap. Okay, whatever. But it's a weird age gap when she's a minor and you're an adult. You're 21 years old, Jay. Like, come on now. I could see if you was 25 and she was 20, she's grown. You know, it's different. But she's a child. Like, so I feel like Jay is the villain. But yeah, you know, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing though. Thank you so much for sharing, sis, and thank you so much. I love you too. Let's get into this next story. This title caught me off guard. I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna do one more. So this one says purposely giving people herpes. Y'all know the whole word. I don't want YouTube to flag me, but what? Hold on, let me read this. Okay, so it says, hey girl, hey, I love watching your story times. There isn't a video I haven't watched on your channel, but girl, this story is messy as hell, so let's go ahead and get into it. So I was best friends with a girl named Kat, fake name. And I met her when I was 7. We lived next door to each other. Kat had an older sister. Let's call her Trifling. You'll see exactly why at the end of this story, LOL. So I was like 7 years old. Trifling was around 10. She was always the bratty older sister, so we were never friends alone. She was just the older sister. So fast forward, I'm 20 and she's 23. So me and Kat were still obviously besties, like throughout the years. So all of a sudden this summer we start hanging out, all three of us, and some other friends that don't need no names. Everything was fine. We all went out every weekend and had hot girl summers. Now this is where the real mess begins. So Trifling had her own apartment and was about to kick her roommate out for not paying her side of the rent. So she told us, get our shit together, get a job and a car, and be ready to move in, because she has 14 days left to get out of my apartment. So I did just that. I got a car and a job before the 2 weeks, but I knew how she operated, so I didn't pack my things too fast. I was staying at my mom's. I wasn't gonna pack my bags to be looking stupid if she ended up letting a girl stay. So one day we all at her apartment and we're chopping it up, and all of a sudden Kat says, hey, me and Trifling are about to go look at a 2-bedroom. Wanna come look at it with us? I'm sorry, what's up? A 2-bedroom? Weren't we all supposed to move in together? Now at that moment I read the room and told them I was good on that and left. So after that it was completely different, because I felt like that was weird as fuck. If we made plans, y'all should have let me know y'all changed your minds at least. So they moved in together, ended up getting evicted within 6 months. But anyways, Trifling moved in with her uncle and Kat moved in with her boyfriend. So me and Trifling start linking along. Plot twist. She actually isn't fooling with her sister Kat, because she says she wasn't putting in on the rent, and Kat doesn't fool with Trifling because she feels like she wasn't helping her get work. She wasn't helping her get to work and school after her car was repossessed. So you're probably thinking, okay, so what's this has to do with, you know, the H word? Well, Trifling ended up fucking my old high school boyfriend, who is now the plug. Let's call him Pitiful. She introduced herself She introduced herself to him one night when he was serving. She introduced herself to him one night when he was serving me some trees. I already told her I didn't fool with him like that, so I'd be avoiding smoking with him. When he asked it matched, but her friendly ass invited him up to the crib with us, so I left, laughing my ass off. Anyway, she started getting cool with Kat again, and they both decided to randomly ghost me or like dry text me in the group chat. Never replied to me, so one day, after it was all very well established, Trifling didn't like me, and we weren't on speaking terms, she texts me and says, be honest, did Pitiful ever give you an STD? I immediately texted Pitiful and asked him what they had going on, and he said he needed to get on the phone to tell me. So he got on the phone. He told me, look, I'm going to be honest. Your friend gave me blank, y'all know. And I was like, wait, what? And he was like, yeah, now she going around telling people I gave it to her. She lied and tricked me into not using a condom that I brought because she said she was allergic to latex. So I had to use the one that she gave me and it broke. But come to find out, she's been fucking my homeboy, and he said he always used regular latex condom and she was fine. Trifling told him, look, I was hoping that we could both just get this together. So basically she gave it to him so they could stay together. So basically she gave it to him so he could stay with her and work it out, and she wouldn't be alone with you know what. So now both guys have it, and she has a boyfriend now, and I don't know if her new man knows, but I don't talk to her at all. We've never spoken after she asked me that. Me and Kat are friends and closer than ever though. Thanks for taking the time out to tell people this crazy ass story. I hope it wasn't all over the place. I'm currently smoking. Okay, bye. Trifling, that's crazy. That's sick, because it's like, that's real messed up. Like, you don't play like that with people. Like, you disclose information like that. I'm pretty sure there's people out there that would be okay with it. But it's like, why not just use protection? That's not gonna keep somebody around you because you give, like, it's a crazy world we live in. But thank you so much for sharing, sis. Let's get into the last but not least story. And this is our last but not least story, and it's called Booty Call Running Down the Street Booty Naked. What? Like, it's giving somebody has somebody at the house when they knew they had somebody living there and they shouldn't have had somebody there. But let's get into it. Girl, I don't even know where to start with this one. So I'm going to just start off by not saying real names, because until this day, nobody knows who this sneaky link was. LOL. Back in high school, my friend introduced me to this boy who I'm going to call Alex. That's not the real name, y'all. Who I seen around school and actually had in one of my classes up until the point that we met. We only had one small interaction when the teacher asked the students in class to grab a book from the cupboard. I finally got to the front of the line when I saw an arm reach over my head to grab a book. I looked up to see this boy looking down at me with these flirty ass smile, book in hand, and handing it to me. I smiled back, grabbed my book, and went to my desk. I remember this day clearly because needless to say, this boy knew how to leave an impression. My best friend at the time asked me to come to a kickback with her one night, and Alex just so happened to be there. We started talking, and right off the bat, we just clicked and had a lot of fun. Not one of my proudest moments, but I did give it up that night, LOL. Anyway, this started a whole booty call relationship. He would call me, I would call him, and it just went like that for about 9 months. Mind you, at this time I was 18 and still living at home with my mom and brothers. Tell me why we got so bold as to have him start sneaking into my window just to do the damn thing. We started to get way too comfortable with him coming in and out like that, which eventually led to this eventful winter day, laughing my ass off. So on the night of Halloween, I went to a party and got so fucked up. I didn't kick it with Alex that night, but sure enough, at the end of the night, we were hitting each other up to link. I left my window open, just waiting on my booty call. When he got to my house, he was as drunk as I was. So when he jumped into my window, he got caught up in my curtains and rolled his way in. We laughed and didn't think anything of it. He took off his clothes and jumped into my bed, climbed on top of me, and we started making out. Just as it was getting hot, I hear my big brother's voice just outside of my open window. Now, my brother at the time was like a solid 220 pounds, not fat muscles. He used to fight in the OFC, which is like UFC fighting in my town. Poor Alex was maybe 150 pounds of lean. So my heart stopped when I heard my brother's voice. I just heard him say, "What the hell? Why do you have your window open?" As he opened the curtain and saw this boy on top of me, my and saw this boy on top of me. My brother jumped into my window so fucking fast. Just as Alex was getting to his knees to beg for mercy, my brother jumped on the bed and started punching him in the face over and over again. Alex scrambled to the window and just flew the fuck out, head first and butt ass naked in the middle of winter. My mom came in and smacked me up. Later on, I found out that my aunt had been sitting outside having a cigarette when she saw the boy running out the side. When she saw this boy running out the side of my house with only his socks on. I could die laughing at it now, girl, but at this time, yeah, it was still funny, laughing my ass off. I didn't realize that my brother was still awake and having his own little kickback downstairs when they heard the noise that Alex made when he came in. I went so much with this boy that could only be told in multiple stories. My younger brother, who went to school with us, had a strong feeling that he knew who it was. Luckily, Alex's face had only swollen up, no bruises or black eyes, so when we went back to school, nobody would have been able to tell. This is literally the only reason why he was no longer a suspect. I was around for a while after, only this time I started sneaking into his house instead. I hope you enjoyed this story. I have plenty more. Also, thank you for sharing your life with us. I love watching your content and listening to your story times. Thank you, sis, for sharing your life with us. That is so crazy. My heart would have stopped. Like, I would not know what to do. But how paranoid I'd be after he made that loud noise. But nah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, after all that loud noise he made, I probably would have went out my room, walked around like, y'all good up in here? Like, when I used to sneak people in, I used to leave out my room, go talk to my grandma, and be like, hey, y'all, what y'all doing? Oh, you know, just doing the most, like, whoo, I'm tired. I'm gonna go sleep. You know, I would have been so paranoid, but that's crazy. I could just imagine. I know your auntie probably was like, what the fuck is going on? And how far did he live? Like, did he have a car? Did he live close by y'all? Like, how far this man had to run home naked? That's crazy. Because how do you go home? Like, hopefully he left his window open so he could just hop back in. And hopefully he lived like some houses down or around the corner, because imagine have to go to your door because you left all your clothes and shit. So, oh, he had to have the clothes because you just hopped out with your socks on. So even if you had a car, you ain't got no keys. Imagine you gotta go home, like, knock on the front door, like, why are you naked? That's so fucking funny, you know. But thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you everybody who shared stories this Sunday, y'all. But yeah, anyway, if you want to send your story, make sure you send it to Symonestorytimes@yahoo.com. Make them titles juicy, y'all, because I'm randomly clicking. I'm gonna get to everybody, of course, but I'm just still scrolling through to see, you know, and them titles gets me there. So make sure you make your titles juicy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.